topic, I'd like to talk a little bit about the Ten Commandments, because I think we never thought about thinking about them like the way God is communicating his expectation towards us
In a very clear way.
in a very clear way. I mean, for once, he wrote it with his own finger, like it says in the Bible, and in the same time, he spoke those words. Yeah, actually, Exodus 20, verse 1 starts with, "And God spoke all these words, saying." Yeah, and we know his voice, it was like thunder that the Israelites got quite scared, and then he announced his request towards humanity. And we never think about. I don't necessarily agree with the idea of psychoanalyzing the Bible, or the need to do it in this way. But I really think that we really need to appreciate the way God is actually applying sometimes psychology in the way He's dealing with people. One issue is every time we do something wrong and He's coming to judge us, He's using psychology pretty much. He's trying to make us realize in how much we have wronged. Yeah, how much it means the sin. Remember when He came to Adam and Eve? He came trying, to make them think about what was wrong in what they did in their disobedience. Starting with Adam, where are you? Oh, I was hiding because I'm naked. Why are you naked? Did anyone told you, or have you ate? Yeah, so he's trying to help them to understand, but not to have an insight of what's happening with them. But then now coming back on the issue of God communicating His expectation towards us, let's think about the Ten Commandments like that. So it was God who took the initiative in doing so. We also need to realize that God first freed the people. They're already for some time out of Egypt. So there it is. They're not more afraid of any Egyptians following them. He brought to His mountain, and there it was where He asked them to prepare for that moment when He communicated His expectation towards humanity. And if we are looking carefully in the Bible, we find that God did it twice. Once it's Exodus 20, and then we find again in Deuteronomy. Yeah, Deuteronomy, it's actually the repetition of the law. From actually chapter 5 of Deuteronomy, it's once again, having a repetition of the law. Starting with verse 6. Yeah, wording is a little bit different between the two of them. Not much difference. For instance, the fourth commandment, while in Exodus 28 it says, "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy." In Deuteronomy 5 it says, "Observe the Sabbath day to keep it holy." Yeah. So there is a little bit of nuance, but pretty much the idea it's the same. Maybe also because we are talking about psychology and the way we need to realize the benefits of psychology. First time because of slavery, they forgot pretty much about the importance of Sabbath, and here they already God already remembered them. So now the emphasis the focus is not on remembering, but the way they are about to apply it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So God is very much aware of our limitations. Sometimes in couple relationship we are saying something like, "How many times should I repeat this to you?" Yeah. Remember when Peter asked Jesus, "How many times should I forgive my brother? Forgive my brother." And he said 70 times 7. Okay. I think also how many times God is remembering us, His expectation towards us. he's quite insistent on that.
Yes.
He realized that we are forgetting, we have a saying in Romania, from the mouth to the hand, you forget. I mean, we are so fast on forgetting what God wants from us. So he's repeating quite often. Remember how many times he says, "Be holy because I'm holy." It's like, I don't know, 20 times, maybe only in the book of Leviticus. Yeah, so it's quite insistent. And beside the law, do you know that every time the Israelites traveled to Jerusalem for the high holidays, part of the celebration was listening once again the reading of book of Deuteronomy out loud, part of which it was the Ten Commandments, besides any other kind of other secondary or other laws. Yeah, so God realized, and when when I'll say, Raquel, how many times she should say to me, at least as many times God is telling you what he's expecting from you. Yeah. So I think God also has a sense of humor, the way he's coming to our level, and he's leveling with us, and the way he's communicating what he wants from us and his expectation for us.
And because he's showing this, he's showing his love and his compassion.
Yeah. And I like to close, because I like to give the space to Raquel, saying only that don't forget that God is projecting himself in a sort of marital relationship with us. The Bible is full, both in Old Testament and the New Testament, with the idea in which we are the bride or his wife, and he's the husband. So the way he's communicating to us is the way a husband is communicating to his wife. And I think we men are pretty much owning the same to our wives, like Paul says in Ephesians, we have this duty to love our spouses the same way Christ did it regarding the church. Yeah. And sometimes we need to be repetitive about it. Sometimes we need to share grace. And I think that's I wanted to say, and I forgot it. Grace. It's not only when we show grace when we forgive the spouse who's wronged us, but also maybe in helping also to fulfill the expectation we have. Yeah, Raquel gave me an example a little bit earlier, like. But it's useful, and then you'll apply from a different point of view. Yeah? Okay. Let's say that I need a shirt for tomorrow for the Sabbath. I need her to iron. Yeah. So imagine that tomorrow morning I found I have no shirt. Yeah, ready for church. So what? I get angry about it. Yes. Well, if I have grace, it's not only for giving her because she didn't, iron my shirt, but it will be also creating the context. Maybe I need to take care of the kids. Maybe I need to take the kids outside half an hour for her to be able to do it. Yeah, giving a hand, creating a context in which her expectation towards me can be fulfilled, and God is doing that constantly. Yeah, remember what we talked last time, that grace enables us into obedience and to achieving, the other's expectation towards us. So when I'm communicating, I need also to extend grace. Yeah, not only in redeeming, but also in enabling the other to raise to my expectation. What's good is to say you are not good of anything if I'm not giving a hand to help the other one. Yeah. So this was the spiritual part of the evening. Now we get a little bit more to
how to apply it.
Yeah.
Well, last time everybody was like, okay, I have this expectation. What can I do with that? So, as I told you last Sabbath in the church, after we finished, I was like, okay, I should have said that. I should have said this and that. So, today I wanted to continue it with the topic. Yeah. And today will be a special on the communication love, and wishes. Yes. Because communication, how you express what you want, what your expectative are, it's very important. You need to put on a list of 3. Yeah. What is really important, it's a must-have. The second one is like, it's important, but it can be done later, or it's not really important. And this was the example that I told Adi with the shirt, yes? If he come to me and say, honey, I need my shirt iron, what does this mean? What is he expecting from me? He could say, honey, it's really important. I need my shirt iron for the Sabbath. Tomorrow is Sabbath. I need for the Sabbath. Then I can understand in my mind and process his expectative that he's coming and he's want his shirt to the iron because he needs. Or he could say, honey, today is Monday. And he say, I need my shirt for the Sabbath. I have a whole week. So if he goes to work and he comes back and it's Monday, it's not ironed, it's not a problem because I have until the Sabbath. But it's important. For the Sabbath, he must have. But if he say, honey, I need my shirt ironed for the end of the month, it's something that is really not important to me to stop everything that I'm doing and do it right now. And this is a really big problem on couples, on families, on parents and children, when you cannot express what your desire are. Because imagine that Ira is a teacher, yes? And Chris, and they said to their students, you need to prepare this and this and that. But then the kids or the students as Riyanka or Deepak, you cannot understand what is important. But if the professor say, this is the main things for the exam, these are the secondary things, and this is the least important, will be one question in the exam, you know where to concentrate it. Yeah, what you should do. And you know that the professor are expecting you to really know this. But the other one, if I imagine that the only thing that the professor told that was not important, you have no idea and you prepared it really, 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 really well. And then the thing that he wanted to be important, you didn't prepare, and you go to the exam and you got a 0. Because you didn't know what was the important thing. Because it's so different what's important for me, what's important for you. It's really different. And this is when we need to understand how important is communication and the role of communicating in life can change things, can change the behavior, the response that we have to each other. Then we can lower our expectative and bring to a realistic level. Yes? Like one example that we have at home, and then this is how clear it needs to be the message. The message, the communication must be clear and not ambiguous. Yeah? Like, I need my shirt iron, let an open window to what does it mean. When we got married 13 years ago, before the wedding, before everything, he said, honey, for me it's really important that every Sabbath we will have dessert. Because I want our children to know that the Sabbath is special. The Sabbath is something to be enjoyable. So I expect to have dessert. But you see how clearly it was the message. And he explained why it was important for him to have the dessert. And then it is where it comes also the grace that he was talking before. Sometimes I don't have time. I try my best to every Sabbath to have the dessert. But on Friday morning, I said, honey, I have so many things to do it. I will not have time to do the dessert this time. But because I communicate that I cannot do it, he says, honey, it's okay, no problem. Then he goes to the supermarket and brings something sweet. Ice cream, I don't know. But imagine that he told me how important it was for him. I didn't told him that it was not time to do it, and he comes home and the dessert's not there. What can you imagine that would happen? Yes. But it was a clearly communication. I believe that here we are adults and we can communicate it. And also in communication plays something important, that is love. And my wish is to win, to be right. These two things doesn't go together. Being right, being happy doesn't go together. Sometimes we need to feel happy, so happy that doesn't matter what other people will do. We are in the mood, you know, when you have this spirit that you want to be happy that day. That if your children spill the juice on the table, it doesn't matter. You pick the thing and you dry it. If the brother in the church disagreed with you, it's fine, brother, you know. The love of Jesus is big enough, and you let it go because you want to, that day you want to be happy. At school, the others one didn't do the homework, the paper that you need to present, and it was not good, but you did your part. The others didn't say, doesn't matter. But then there are other days that you want to be right. It doesn't matter. You want to win and you want to be right. So you'll pick a fight with anything. Honey, I want my tea. No, the temperature of the tea, it's wrong. You are driving in the road and someone cut it on the way that they didn't supposed to do, and you are angry and you are picking a fight because you want to be right. You go to work, the children are not listening, are not behaving, you want to be right. And this is normally, it's human. Yeah. And to be happy, to live meaningful life, we need to have a balance between these two. Because a person that doesn't want never to be happy and just want to be right, this person will be so unhappy and angry and annoying. And the person that just want to be lovely and to do everything it's okay, this person is unbearable because they never have anything to say. They're just like, where should we go? And then the person will answer, whatever you want, it's fine. You want to do your boss come to you and say, why did you say this and this and that? Instead of you staying your ground, no, okay, I will do it. I will rechange. I will do everything. Anything, it's fine. And this is impossible in life. We have wishes, we have desires, yes, and we need to be right sometimes too. This is part of our self, our ego. Yeah, you know, we need to know that we are right. And this is when communication and knowing each other, it's so important on the expectations. I wake up. First, I need to realize what I want. I'm in a happy mood, or I'm in the mood that I want to be right. If in that day I can recognize in myself that I want to be right, I need to open my eyes and see the others, how they are. Yeah. If I see that my spouse, my parents want to be right too, and I don't know how to show grace and show compassion and change myself, we will have a fight, third world war. Yeah, will be a war. But if it's good and it's not good when the two of them are very lovely. They want to be happy. The two of them want to be happy. Honey, where do you want to go? Whatever you say. No, but I want to know where you want to go. No, you say, you pick. And then it's the fight because no one of them has an opinion. And then this is important to express communication, to understand yourself, to put your grounds, and to really know how to express, to be clear. Yeah? And to be able to know the other. Because imagine if we go with the children to a park, and 3 of us are in a very happy mood because we really want to go and enjoy, and one of us just say, no, I don't want. They will say, everybody want to go to swim, and the others say, no, we want to go and ride in bicycles. The other one, the one that is alone, he will say, okay, it will be, but he will make unbearable for everybody. Because he needs to show that he's unhappy. But when you can say, okay, I'm in this mood, I want to be right, but I want to enjoy the time with the others, okay, let's go, and then we compromise. Later, we will do what I want. So you can win, but you can make the other one happy. So we need also to compromise. And this, in marriage, it's one of the hardest things at all, to compromise. Everybody wants to show their ground and put their flag in the moon. The moon is mine, nobody's touching. The other will be unhappy. And it will not just that he will feel drying. He will dry and he will withdraw from the marriage, from the parenting, as being a child. Because when the parents just want to be right and the child is never right, they withdraw. When one spouse is right, the other withdraw. We need to have compromise, good communication, and to show a lot of grace. Because God, you saw how God was so amazing. He was saying, I expect this, I expect that, I expect that other. And he was so clear. This is how we should supposed to be. Like God sending a message that it's really clear. So this was the main topic, but today I would like more to discuss with you, to see what are your ideas on this topic, what's problem you can recognize, what problems you should see that you need to manage, and together we can try to find solutions, because sometimes I'm shy and I don't want to share what is my problem, and I want to carry my burden alone. But then, when I hear the other one asking the question, like I open my ears to see the solution for this person because it will apply to me. So it's good when we share, because psychology is not just me talking. Psychology is hearing the other one and trying to bring in a solution to life that can matter and make a change. So if anyone wants to share, want to add, want to make a question, please.
Okay, I think I've got a question. So you're talking about compromise, and you're talking about having to compromise. But what happens if you're willing to compromise to a certain point, but the other person isn't willing to compromise at all, and you feel like you're just always giving compromise and not ever receiving a sort of an equal amount of compromise? How can you manage with that?
This it's when someone is compromising always, 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 always. The other one, it's is not. You need to clear the rules, and you need to stand your ground and say, okay, I have compromised until here. If you want to make a change and a meaningful one, you need to compromise too. Until here it was. Because we need to be, it's the same thing with God. God says, until here, my patience, my grace, now it will come. You saw with Pharaoh, yeah? God sent one message. And he said, I expect this for you, and I will do this. But if you don't, this is what will come. God was always so clear. He made a pact with Abraham, with when it was Lot, his nephew. He said, okay, God, if was 100 people there, God say, okay, Lord, 50. Okay. And then was going down, and God was compromising until it was the number that God say, okay, until here. If this is the number of people, I will save. If not, everybody will perish. Yeah, we need to show grace, to compromise, but until certain point. You cannot, in a relationship, you cannot lose yourself. It is important when you get married, when you are in a friendship, when you are in whatever relation, you enter as a person, and you should end as a person. You should not lose and just give and give and give. We need to receive too. I hope that this was clear.
Yes, very good. Thank you. Thank you.
Anyone else? Yes, Rianka.
How do you know that point, like you said? Like, how do you know the limit of, like, I mean, of course we can pray about it. I mean, but I don't know. How do you know the limit?
The limit, first of all, when you are in a relationship that you see, okay, I will give examples, yes, it's not, today you go to eat outside, and you want to eat sushi, and the other want, I don't know, lasagna. And you say, okay, today it's fine, lasagna it's fine. You go tomorrow, and the other person say, I want lasagna, you say, no, but I really want sushi. Oh, okay, if you want to make you happy, let's have lasagna. You do once, you want twice, 3 times, 4, until you feel that you are not respected. Yeah. That your wishes are never met. Then everyone has a different limit. But when you see that you are the only one that are giving, and giving, that's not good. Yes, everybody has a limit, but you should pay attention, because it's not in just one thing that we compromise. I remember a couple in Israel that they got married, and she had short hair. And after the marriage, he said, no, I like long hair. She hated long hair. But she let because he liked it. And then for him, he was too, I don't know, orthodox is not the right word, but he was very conservative. A woman should just use skirts, very long skirts. You cannot use pants anymore. And you can cook if I light the fire. Because he was a Jew, yeah? And for the Jew, when the Sabbath starts, he needs to light the fire. Because his wife was a Gentile. She was not a Jew. She was not born a Jew. So he needs to light the fire. And he was changing her in everything. Everything. The food, she could not eat anymore Romanian food because he wants just Israeli food. Until they was married, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. Until this woman, she could not recognize herself anymore. She looked at the mirror and she could not see herself. It was a completed other person. She had nothing to say. She had nothing to put on in the marriage anymore. They got divorced, and in this case, I was like, it was good for her, because if she had stood there, she would have commit suicide or something else. She was really depressed in their relationship because she was compromising. And to take her out of this situation was really hard, because when she got out, she was like, oh, I have a choice. How do I choose? How do I pick my clothes now? I don't have my husband anymore to pick up my clothes. I can cut my hair. These are very extreme cases, but I want to show you that not having a voice, not being able to choose, it can be very dangerous. Anyone else?
Like, I have a question.
Yes.
For example, we can take the other two friends. Like both the guys are like, one is from Christian background, another one is from pagan background. He may be whatever religion he may be. Like one of the guy who is from Christian background, he's compromising a lot because his friends, he may take advantage of it and make a domination over him. Then he's like, we should show the God's character, so that the Christian guy is always making a compromising with his friend. Like, is it good to compromise everything until certain point, or otherwise we should show the God's character, because God has compromised everything for us? So should we go on, keep on compromising with them, or we should say at a certain point, like, no, this is wrong, you should have to do like this? What is the correct way? Should we need to show the God's character, or we should like talk against that person?
Well, we need to show the God's character, but you see, Jesus, what happened when Jesus entered in the temple and he saw people selling things in the temple? He was really angry and he was lashing. It was even God, even Jesus, he had a limit. He could not compromise on the values, on the importance of the temple. He showed grace. He preached. He showed love. He showed everything. But until a certain point. You see, God gave everything for us, but he asked it too. You see, it's like salvation. There is the only thing that, and our relationship with God, this is the only thing that should never be compromised. It doesn't matter if it's with your spouse, with your friend, with your parents. Your faith in God and your relationship with him should never have a compromise. The other things, just doing everything that the other people want you to do, it's not right. Because God will not compromise at the end when he will say, I know you, I don't know you. Oh God, but not compromise. You go to the other side. So even not compromising always is on the character of God.
Yes, sir, thank you.
If there's any more questions, Let us share. The pastor is back. He can answer too.
I have
Yes.
a question.
Yes.
What about if, of course, there is a certain rule at home, right?
Yes.
But sometimes it is not being followed. So, first, second, third offense, I don't mind. I gave mercy, you say.
Mm-hmm.
But he keeps on forgetting. He always forget. Should I always, and every time he forgets, if the maximum, the limit has been exhausted, I have to say, do I have to remind you always? I think you are no longer a small child that
Mm-hmm.
I have to follow. I couldn't always stay at your back to remind you, because it's not fair. But he keeps on forgetting about it. What can I do about that?
I believe that when the message was really clear, and here I really like what the Bible said. Don't get me wrong, yes. But when God said you should do this and this and that, if you don't do it, you had a punishment. Because if your communication was clear, this is really important. The other person did, and you are merciful the first time. The second time, you show mercy. It's all right. The third time, the person will learn that it's okay not to do it. When you show every time mercy, you are teaching them that it's all right. It's like God said to the people, you do this, you do that, then it's coming. It's coming the flood, it's coming the Babylonians, it's coming. Yeah? Everything should have the consequences. I showed you mercy once, I showed you mercy twice.
I think it's maybe next time we can talk about how to, or maybe can share some exercise how to communicate, because it's very important to acknowledge that the other really got what I want to tell him. Usually it's a simple exercise, and it can be applied to any kind of things we need to discuss. First, we express our
Wish, request.
wish, request, expectance, let's say, and then we ask the other one to repeat in his own words what I said. Yeah, and then once again after he said, I say, okay, so you understand so and so and so and so. Yeah, making sure that the other really got the message. So okay, so then definitely it's not a misunderstanding. The other one really got the idea. Yeah, and then of course, let's say we repeat it once, twice, three times, 4 times, but grace, as I said,
a limit.
and it's not only that has a limit. Yeah, but as I was saying, grace not only that forgives or also enables, but at some point also grace demands justice. Remember, why do you think that even Jesus, once he was faced with the idea of divorce, asked by the Pharisees, he said, okay, this is God's plan, and he's stating what was in the beginning. God created a man and a woman. They're supposed to be together. The man is supposed to leave his mother and father and get united with his wife. And there is only one reason for divorce: adultery. You see, even Jesus makes there an exception. He can say, but if you are forgiving, you can. Yeah, I can tell you it happens, and I think once we have this experience. We had to deal with a couple where one of them it was unfaithful to the other one, and I told both of them, to the one who was cheated and to the cheater, at this point, the other one has all reason to leave you. You've been unfaithful. So the other one, according to even to the words of Jesus. And that's also grace. Yeah? Because otherwise, what's happening? You'll create a context that, okay, I forgive you. And I met in other situations people who are involved in a relationship where they are afraid to leave the spouse, either husband or wife, who is a pathological cheater. Yeah. And saying, I just love him. And no, that is not love. That becomes a pathology. That's a sickness.
Yeah.
You are as much sick as the cheater.
One.
Yeah. Maybe I took the example to the extreme, but the idea it is, well, when there is grace, yeah, it's not only that I share always, because like Raquel said, God constantly show grace to Israel. He was enabling them to be obedient, but they were stubborn and their disobedience. And at some point, yeah, even in the book of Deuteronomy, we have the blessing and the curses. They were left to face the consequences of their disobedience. Maybe sometime, yeah, and there was a remnant who came back, but others
And
were lost. Yeah, and let's finish with that couple that we're talking about. Finally, the spouse show grace because the other one really show remorse and repentance. Yeah, and thanks God, as at the point where we know them at least 2 years after the unfortunate event, which actually it was an accident. Yeah, they are fine. Both of them are saying we're more in love than when we first married. Yeah, so I think that's also grace that redeems, but also they reach the point where the other one has to see a change. Yeah, and because it was the other soul change, the grace was able to forgive and to restore. Yeah, I mean, let's say it's something like this. I show grace to my wife by not constantly reminding all her errors. Oh, you always burn the food. Oh, you always, I don't know, when you iron my shirt, I don't like the way you iron, or so and so. Yeah. Okay. By doing that, I show grace. Yeah. But let's say 12 years after you got married.
13.
Yeah, 13 years later. If she's still still don't have on Sabbath morning an iron shirt, of course I'll have I think we have to face this issue. We have to have a serious discussion.
Yes.
Yeah, a serious conversation on the topic. I mean, what's happening after that I have this expectation from you. After that I already, I
Took the children out.
yes, I was enabling you to do it, and we are still not progressing on that issue.
That's the problem.
I mean, we really need to see what's happening, what's wrong here.
And when you communicated your expectation very clearly, the person didn't didn't want you to do. The second time you need to state the consequences. I had this couple of friends. The husband was always taking care of his family, not the wife, yeah? Because when you get married, you have a second family now. Your mom, your dad, your brothers are not the family anymore. They are secondary.
You don't get married only with another person. You get married with another family.
Yeah, but they are secondary now. Your spouse should be the main.
Yeah, but I mean, even psychologists say that you get married with the second family.
But okay. And he was spending every time his money with his family, with the brothers. His wife, one of the brothers was getting married, and the wife said, "I need a dress to go to attend the wedding." I'm being very serious with you. If you spend everything with them, and for the wedding, I don't have the money to buy the dress, I'm not going with you. He was, okay, yeah, sure. He spent the money with his family. Before the wedding, he didn't have the money to buy her a dress. At the day that they're supposed to leave, he was expecting her to have prepared the luggage and go with him. And she was like, I told you, I'm not going with you. I told what was important for me. I told what I was expecting from you. You didn't did it. So now I'm not going. And she remained at home. He went alone. But she was clear. And this is when you state the consequences. And you need to be firm with the consequences. Not it's like if I tell the children, if you don't pick the toys, you are not going to watch cartoons. And later on they didn't pick the toys and I let them watch cartoons. Do you believe that next time they will pick up the toys? They will not pick up the toys. They need to know, okay, it was 1 day, 2 days, a week.
Ask our kids, they know we are serious. We mean business.
Johanna is saying that is true here. No, because when you express what you are expecting clearly and you show that there are consequences, the other one's supposed to show a change. Yeah. I hope that we are clear. You see, when he is here, we are more broadened.
I have a question.
Yes, Ira. Sister Ira.
I know that you emphasize the clear communication. So you have to verbalize your expectation. This is what I'm expecting. It is this or nothing. As a human being, I'm speaking for myself. As a human being, I have a tendency to not communicate clearly because of, I don't know, cowardness or not really, like, I don't want to sound strong or have no confidence, but I am expecting this, but I can't say it. How do I make it clear? How can I have the guts to say my expectation clearly? Is there any exercises that I need to do, habits that I need to practice every day to make more confident to make my expectations clear?
Well, this why when we talked last week about expectation, I said that it's a habit, and communication is a habit, and you need to start from small things that you believe that okay, if I say will not be that bring that much confrontation, because once that you do it, you get and the other person responded. You get a you recognize yourself. You feel good because you are recognized. And you need to start from small things. Yeah, like with Daddy, when we need to talk and to communicate. First, in our marriage, I was very, how you say, I was bring it up in a family with no communication. Zero. My mom and my dad, the only communication that they had was like good night, good morning, the food is ready, it's ready. They didn't, so I didn't know how to tell Adi what I was expecting for him. Here, on the other hand, he know what he wants. And like, he told me, I want dessert every Sabbath. I would never had the courage to tell him, I want this from the beginning. And took me a lot of times to say to him, I don't like the way that you clean the floors. And when and then you need to expect, but it was like if I tell him, I need to know the consequences. Or he will change the way that he cleans the floor. Or he will say, okay, honey, now you clean it. Yeah. Even when I want to tell something expressly, I need to know that will be consequence, or good the way that I want, or the other way around. Yeah. Or when I didn't told him that I love flowers, and I was expecting flowers from him every Sabbath. Once I told, oh, thank you very much for the flowers on Sabbath. And I was thinking that the signal was clear. I like the flowers. This means that you should bring flowers every Sabbath. But what did he heard? Thank you for the flowers. He didn't heard, oh, honey, it's great. Please bring me every Sabbath. Like in Israel, it was fine, because the flowers was very affordable. Here in Italy, I don't expect him to bring me flowers every Sabbath because he's very expensive. You see, I adjusted my expectations to the reality of the country. Because if he bring me flowers every week, we would not going to be able to eat.
But I brought you tulips, and you put on the.
Yeah, I planted my own flowers now. But after that, I thought that he was not bringing flowers in Israel. I was like, honey, why are you not bringing flowers? Because. And for him was one chance. I'm like, honey, I really would like you to bring flowers. And then he started to bring flowers because I expressed my wish. But you need to start it with small things. I don't know what Chris does or don't do it. You need to tell him, I don't know, I don't like the way that you do this. Can you do this like this, in this way? Or with Vanessa, please, can you, but it has to be a logic, yes? OCD doesn't enter in this list. Yeah, Vanessa, please, can you arrange your bed every day before you go to school? Because if you don't do it, I feel bad. I cannot have my day if you don't prepare your bed. Please do it. It's something small. But when you start to applying at your house with the person that you love and that you know that you will understand you, you get the courage to do also outside with friends, with your boss at your job, because you are confident enough.
Yeah. The issue is it's a little bit more complex than that. Well, I really have to say that the way Raquel presented me, I really feel like an exaggeration, because I now have my limitation in communicating.
I know, but
maybe on some superficial level, I'm very easy to communicate, but some other more
personal,
more deeper issues, I'm not that such an easy communicator, and that also maybe because of the way I was brought up. I don't want to say that my parents are guilty of my issues, but definitely the way I grew up, not only with my parents, but also maybe it has to do with my temperament and my personality and my experience with school, and if I feel accepted or not. Also, I'm usually trying to avoid the confrontation or conflict, and sometimes that makes me not to be necessarily assertive, let's say, and in expressing myself, and sometimes I tend to procrastinate some important issues. Actually, we should talk some time, and that also I need to realize is because of that. Usually, what it has to do, either if we reach a level where we cannot communicate without starting a conflict, we need at the beginning to have maybe a therapist to help us with the exercise, like I said in the beginning, with some easy issues, like let's.
Why do you fold the towers?
No. Like what? Like the way Raquel is asking me always. What should we have? What should I cook for the Sabbath?
Oh yeah.
And I hate this question. Yes. So yeah. Let's have a discussion on this topic. Yeah, it's something important, but it's not something so decisive like I don't know
Like for me, food is important. For him, it's not that much.
No, but I was
Yeah.
comparing to some other issues which are much more
deeper.
Yeah. So yeah, we need to realize why I'm holding back. I'm afraid of not being accepted. I'm afraid that this discussion will generate maybe a conflict with the other.
The person not love me anymore.
Yeah. Maybe I need to have a little bit more faith in our spouse. Yeah. One of the things which I was afraid always, yeah, is not necessarily justifiable, but I always was afraid of that. Being a son of a pastor, I was always afraid of being given as an example in the church. Like an illustration in my dad's sermon. Sometimes he'll do say something like something that I said or something that I did. Usually it was positive. My dad didn't like to put me on the spotlight. Yeah, but I was afraid somehow that maybe if I say something, I communicate something. Yeah, he'll say that, or if I say something to my mom will say to my dad, and yeah, and that made me always, to be a little bit afraid to open or to discuss some issues. But definitely we need to, because if we communicate, all our problems are half solved. Because first of all, the other one really knows what is on our heart, why this issue it bothers us, how important that issue it is for us. If he really should or she should get involved in trying to adjust, yeah, in order to make me also to be happy, to be satisfied, yeah. So yeah, communication is pretty much important. We really need to learn how to
communicate.
To communicate.
Can I give an example?
Yeah.
I love this example from Pastor Bouillon. Bouillon.
He's like Mark Finlay, South America.
Yes. And to you to understand how impacting it was for me in my life, this example that I was a child like Johanan and Victoria when I heard the sermon, yeah? And now I can see how it's applying. When he got married and they were at the honeymoon, his wife wake up very early and prepared the breakfast and brought to the bed. And she cut a big papaya. And he hated papaya. He could not eat it.
But because it was their first
But was the first day. Yes.
breakfast
Together. He ate it. The second morning, she came with the papaya. The whole week he was eating the papaya because he was afraid to
tell her.
Until the day, like after a week that you are eating something that you hate, believe me, you create courage to say it. And he's like, honey, I don't like papaya. And she's like, and why are you eating the papaya if you don't like it? Well, you prepare it for me with so much. And she's like, you shouldn't have eaten. I can understand that if something that you don't like, you need to tell me if it's something, you see. But he ate it because he was afraid to communicate it. And
also, I think we need to realize something. We do not need to procrastinate to discuss something that is bothering us until it will become an issue, until we'll explode, until we'll create a conflict. Yeah, let's face the issue when it's still small. Yeah, it's like when you have to uproot, let's say a tree. It's much easier to uproot when it's small. It's not when it's 10 feet tall. Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to share any examples that you, now that you have heard some of the things and you say, yeah, I can see, you don't need to say names, but if you have examples, you can say, it's like, I had a friend, this friend did this and this and that. I saw this and now I know how to apply. You can share. Nobody here is judging.
Okay, I want to share something about communication.
Uni, we cannot hear you.
Wait. Hello?
Wait a second.
Okay.
We can hear you here. Fine,
Cannot
yeah.
hear you.
No, it's our problem.
It's our problem. Okay. Emmanuel, click at something in the computer now.
No, it's okay. If not, we'll share this next time.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Now we can hear. Yeah.
Now you can hear. Everybody has heard, so we can hear too now.
Okay. I know about communication because that's usually also our problem. But it does not mean that we don't communicate, but we communicate a lot. Because me, I love to communicate. I speak what's on my mind. I don't want to, everything that I feel, I always tell him. So that's why I'm very, I want to say what I feel, if I'm angry or not. And sometimes in my way of speaking, in communicating, he always thinks that the way I speak, it's like I'm always angry, because in our language, in our dialect in the Philippines, we are our dialect, we speak like we like in a loud, or I don't know how to say, there is an accent that it seems that we are angry, but we are not. So I'm always that's always our problem, because when I speak something and so you're angry already. So usually we fight because he thinks that I'm angry. So no, I'm just telling you, I'm just sharing what I feel. I'm just, being open. And then that's why we always have this misunderstanding in communicating. Even if we communicate, it seems that there's always a problem on, I don't know, because I feel communication is not lacking in a relationship, because we always talk every day, what happened, like that. I always share to him, what happened. So I don't know with him, because he's not really a talker. he's always silent, but I'm also asking with him, what happened? It's okay, you're okay? Yes, but he's not really sharing with me a lot of things about, I don't know, but yeah, that's something that I want to know how to, to create a harmonious communication, because sometimes when we talk, we always, not always, we end up fighting or arguing. So I want to, do we need to have that, like, do we need to feel the person if he's in the good or in a bad mood to say something? Because me, I usually don't I just talk what I feel, and then not knowing that he has bad mood, and boom, we had so
Sister Raquel.
boom, later. Okay.
No. It's just one thing. First of all, it's like Italian, Romanian. I believe that the same thing with your dialect. You are very passionate about what you are saying. Yeah, and the loudness and the way of expressing. Like, I come from a very peaceful and quiet. When the Addis family are discussing, I believe that they are fighting because the way that they express. Yeah. You could also start like this. I want to say something. I will be loud. This doesn't mean that I'm angry. I'm not angry. First of all, I am fine. I just want to share something with you. Don't get me wrong. I'm not fighting. You can state what you are feeling because you prepare. First, when you are planting a seed, first you need to work the soil where you are putting the seed, because if you put the seed there, it will not germinate. Yeah. And then second thing that you need to understand, men and women are different. Totally different. Like when a man comes home, generally, I'm not talking about all men, yeah, they are different too. And you see that he's angry and he's sad. You ask, are you everything okay? He will say, it's fine. And then he will go to his place, and in a couple of minutes, he will be fine. And if he says, it's nothing, believe me, it's nothing. Nothing is going on his mind. If he say it's nothing, it's nothing. Me estás derangando. If a woman come home and she has a face that she's angry, and she says nothing, please ask her everything, because something is really bothering me. Because for men, nothing means nothing. For a woman, nothing means everything. It's wrong. So when the man says nothing, let's he go. He need to go and take his time. When the woman will say it's nothing, say, honey, what's wrong with you? What can I do to help you? Because it's different of communication and to understand. If you understand your partner that you are two different species almost, you will be able to really communicate. Because sometimes I say to Adi, I need to tell you something. I don't want you to give me any solution for the problem. And it's very hard for them because men are wired to give you solutions. Because no man comes to other men with a problem that is not going to be solved. Yeah, they will come. I had a problem with the motor of my car. The other will say, well, you should go to this mechanic to give the solution. If a woman comes with a problem, honey, I don't know, this is happened, it's happened. She wants to be listened and not to give a solution. Like for me, I get very angry when he starts to give me solutions for something that I don't want a solution. I just want to share. And I want as a woman, I never know the plural word very right.
Woman.
Yeah, is to say to me, yes, honey, you are right. Like if I fight with his mom, I don't care if he believes that she is right. He needs to give the reason to me. Because at that moment, I need to be understood. And if, like when we are together, just women talking, we are always telling, yes, wow, really? And we are making faces, we are touching, we are moving. When you say something to a man, he's like,
when is she finishing?
And for him, he's really hearing. But for a woman, when she sees this, she's like, can you please pay attention to me? I'm talking to you. I need you to look at me. And he's like, if you see him with his cousin, with his father talking, they will be like, yes. And they know that the other one is listening. So we need to understand that we communicated different. Now you can say.
Let's see if I remember. No, what I wanted to say, when we have to discuss some important issues, which are also, we know that will create some tension. Let's agree with the other when we'll talk about it.
Yes.
Maybe we don't need to talk right now because we are not in the mood. But I need to say to the other, we really need to talk, and we need to talk about this. Tell what it is about. When should we talk? And agree when you should do it. Do not procrastinate forever.
But not doing angry.
Yeah, do not do it angry. And also, let's give also to the other one time to think about what he wants to share on the topic. And another issue, do not procrastinate the discussions. As I said earlier, when you have to discuss something, do not let until it becomes something that's too big. And also, we need to realize, just like Raquel said, that communication, the way you communicate, yes, it is conditional. It is conditioned by our culture.
Yes.
Yeah, and most of us, except maybe Chris here, we come from very loud cultures.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe even Brazil. Maybe your family are the exception. Like Brother Louis might be the exception, but all of us, we come from cultures which are very loud. When we are talking,
yes, and
the
they
neighbors
talk,
will hear what we have to say.
and they talk everybody at
At
the same
time, and
time.
you'll follow it. Yeah, no problem.
This make me crazy. In my family, one say something, the other hear. Then you wait your turn to say something. No, they tell. Is everything like?
Yeah, and that's the second issue. It's not only the ethnicity of aspect, but it's also the family or my own characteristics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm very passionate when I have to say something. I remember sometimes even with my professors when I was arguing with them, sometimes without realizing, I become very loud.
Yes.
And I sometimes the professor say, "What are you doing?" I say, "Okay, sorry." I was very passionate. Yeah, that's my way of expressing. I'm sorry. I don't want to. I do not mean to disrespect you, but when I get carried about some topics, I become loud and I try to.
Yes.
It's unconsciously. We need to get used to one to another to these issues. Yeah, Raquel pretty much learned. I don't have mine. That's my way of talking.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone? Everything is clear.
Yeah.
Two.
No, it's mine.
If no, we can end it here. Then maybe next time, instead of just couple, maybe we can prepare something like for Deepak and Riyank, and maybe if the Filipinos, the young ones that are not married, want to join, how to choose your spouse correctly. Yeah, because one that you have chosen, you need to, we had a pastor that would say, #chupa essa manga. That's like, you took the manga, you peeled the mango, now you need to eat it. If you have already chosen and peeled the mango, that's it. But if no, we can do something for the unmarried people at our church and talk with them too. But communication, these are topics that can be useful in all aspects of our relationships, yes, but we need to know also to choose right.
Oh, there we go. Sounds like an excellent plan.
Okay.
Would be nice if Vanessa can
Yeah,
hear something about that.
Yeah, definitely.
This it's a big issue. It's I believe that is one of the main concerns today for parents and for the youngs, who and how they should choose and when. And parents are always concerned with that, so you can know how to advise the children, or you can know and say, if I had knew that, maybe I would change my mind, before. But then we can maybe understand why our spouse is the way that he is, that we didn't thought before. Yeah. So yeah. So if will be all right, this will be our next topic for next time. Then maybe you can invite the Filipinos, the youngs, if they want to join too. It will be good for them too.
I could do that, definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you very much.
I hope that had been
Thank you.
useful.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
So
We are going to pray
We
first.
learn how to
time
compromise.
is, yeah,
And
Yes, life is a compromise.
Yeah.
time is, we should be more.
No, life is a compromise. If the baby don't compromise and get out of the uterus, he will not be able to live. And
Yeah.
if he doesn't change his, the immediate, it's so cozy and warm in the womb. Then he need to be brought to a world full of inspiration. Mommy's going. And he need to breathe, and it's painful. We are going, baby. Johanna, 1 second, please. Hey, Casey. Are you feeling asleep? Yes.
She's still eating.
Yeah, but I believe that Casey really knows how to tell us what she wants. If she wants to eat, she wants, yeah. And she's learning how to communicate with Emmanuel, because Emmanuel say, I wanted the cookie. He say to her, I want the cookie. Yes, Emmanuel? Yeah? Come and say hi. Say, Mommy today was making cake. And I asked